Welcome everyone to Just Recaps. Today I'm here to share the enchanting story of Oz the Great and Powerful, inspired by the 2013 film of the same title. Our story begins in 1905 in Kansas with a man named Oscar Diggs, also known as Oz. He is an ambitious but struggling illusionist performing with a traveling circus in the Midwest. Oscar's career is stagnant, and he barely makes enough money to survive. One day, Oscar's assistant, Frank, interrupts him while he is charming his latest magician's assistant, May. Frank gives May a small wooden music box that belonged to his great-grandmother and informs Oscar that his next performance is about to start. Oscar takes out 2 pennies from his earnings and gives them to Frank, keeping the rest for himself. Dressed in an oriental gown, Oz takes the stage and invites May, his secret partner, to join him. He mesmerizes the audience by putting May in a deep slumber and suspending her in mid-air. Although the wires supporting her are visible, Oz skillfully cuts them with a sword, leaving May floating on her own. In the final act, May disappears, leaving the audience amazed. Outside the circus, chaos ensues as dark clouds gather. Frank tells Oz that a woman named Annie is waiting for him in his caravan. Inside, Oz is surprised to find Annie, an old love interest, instead of May. Annie informs him that she is engaged to another man. Despite their chemistry, Oz's past indiscretions prevent them from rekindling their relationship. Meanwhile, May sees a woman with a music box identical to the one Oz gave her, realizing that she has been deceived. The woman's enraged husband bursts out of a tent and chases Oz through the fairground. Oz escapes in a hot air balloon with the help of Frank, who tosses him a hat and a bag of illusionary tools. From the air, Oz witnesses the panic among the circus members as a vortex draws him in. He desperately clings to the balloon's basket as it crashes into a river. To his surprise, Oz finds himself surrounded by sentient plants and mischievous fairies. Theodora, a young woman dressed in black, emerges and helps Oz. He charms her and reveals his name as Oz, connecting it to a prophecy about a wizard who will save the kingdom from the Wicked Witch. Theodora clarifies that she is a good witch. As they hide from the Wicked Witch's henchmen, Oz uses his tricks to distract a howler monkey, allowing them to escape. They set off on a journey to the Emerald City. Along the way, Oz captivates Theodora, who falls in love with him. She promises that he will become the ruler of the kingdom, with her as his queen. Oz presents her with a wooden music box, similar to the ones he has given to other women. In their travels, they encounter a trapped monkey named Finley, whom Oz rescues. They also face a lion, which Oz scares away with a cloud of red smoke. Theodora believes Oz is the true wizard and embraces him. Oz admits to Finley that he is not the real wizard, but a trickster with illusions. Finley decides to keep this information from Theodora. Oz gives Finley his bag and asks him to join their journey. On their journey, Oz and his companions encounter a large caravan of troops led by Commander Nuck. Theodora believes Oz is a powerful magician, but Nuck disagrees. Oz mocks Nuck and asserts his authority as the future monarch. They are taken to the Emerald City in a carriage where they meet Theodora's sister, Evanora. Suspicious of Oz, takes him to the throne room, which irks Evanora. However, she promises to be courteous until she can prove his deception. In the king's vault, Oz dives into piles of gold while Evanora watches closely. Evanora reminds Oz that the vault belongs to the future king of Oz, but becoming king comes with conditions. He must defeat the Wicked Witch by breaking her wand. Encouraged by this information, Oz prepares to search for the witch. Accompanied by Finley, Oz enters the dark woods. They come across a destroyed porcelain town and discover a broken porcelain girl. Oz mends her legs and she joins their quest. As they journey deeper, they encounter carnivorous plants and reach a cemetery where they spot a hooded figure trying to enter. They realize this must be the Wicked Witch. Oz attempts to break the witch's wand, but hears a soothing voice. The figure unveils herself as Glinda, the Good Witch of the South. She reveals Evanora's treachery and her plan to eliminate Glinda and Oz. Evanora witnesses her failed attempt through her crystal ball and sends her forces to kill them. At the cemetery, Evanora's army approaches. Glinda urges Oz to use his magic, but as an illusionist, he insists she handle the situation herself. With her wand, Glinda conjures a thick fog that conceals the Winkies and baboons in Evanora's army. The quartet finds themselves on the edge of a cliff, with a bottomless pit below, leaving Glinda no choice but to leap from the precipice. As the army closes in on Finley, China Girl, and Oz, they chase after Glinda. In an instant, all 4 transform into enormous floating soap bubbles, carrying them far away. Observing a small city encased in a massive soap bubble in the distance, Oz inquires about it. Glinda explains that the bubble serves as a protective barrier, excluding those with malicious or discontented hearts. Oz, recognizing his own flaws, doubts he can pass through. While Glinda, Finley, and China Girl effortlessly cross the barrier, Oz repeatedly bounces off until he finally manages to squeeze through. Unsuccessful in capturing Oz and Glinda in the Emerald City, Evanora devises a new plan. She welcomes Theodora into her chambers, presenting her with a miniature wooden music box identical to the one Oz had given her. Discovering the music box, Theodora returns to her room, hurt by what she perceives as Oz's betrayal. In front of her vanity mirror, she weeps, and her tears possess a corrosive power, leaving lifelong scars on her flesh. Glinda introduces Oz to the inhabitants of the Bubble City, including farmers, tinkerers, and munchkins. Realizing the extent of his deceit, Oz confesses to Glinda that he is not a true magician. Surprisingly, Glinda had known this from the moment they met. But she understands that it doesn't mean the rest of the community must be aware as well. Meanwhile, consumed by rage towards Oz, Theodora's anger reaches its boiling point, as evidenced by her horribly disfigured face from the acid burns. Evanora, now exerting complete influence over Theodora, persuades her to follow a plan that promises to make her more powerful than any other wizard. Evanora presents Theodora with a small green apple, assuring her that it will grant her the ability to slay Oz. Theodora takes a bite, only to collapse shortly after. Her appearance changes dramatically, her skin darkens, her voice deepens, and she transforms into a tall and terrible witch, donning black clothing. She seizes a black-brimmed hat and erupts into maniacal laughter. An ominous storm cloud forms above the town where Glinda and Oz reside. A searing red light at its core repeatedly strikes the supposedly impenetrable bubble encircling the city. Finally, the bubble shatters like an egg, allowing the red-hot light to pour into the town square like a meteor. From the crater emerges a radiant yet demonic figure. It is Theodora, now an elderly witch with green skin and black attire. She confronts Oz, holding him responsible for her transformation into a true wicked witch. Glinda endeavors to instill confidence in Oz, encouraging him to trust himself despite not being a genuine wizard. Through introspection, Oz formulates a plan and instructs Glinda to gather the most intelligent and powerful citizens of Emerald City. Together, they meet with Master Tinker and his team of scientists to devise a strategy to deceive Theodora and Evanora. Oz demonstrates to the Tinkers how to construct a movie projector, black powder, and a hot air balloon. He instructs the head Tinker to keep the balloon a secret. Oz and Glinda strategize, examining a map of Emerald City and its surroundings. Glinda reveals her contact, Nuck, also known as Sourpuss, who can help them infiltrate the city unnoticed. Disguised as munchkins, Oz, Nuck, and the others sneak past an inattentive Winky gatekeeper. Once inside, Oz heads to the king's vault, filling the hot air balloon's basket with riches. Finley, Nuck, and Master Tinker observe from the ground, mistakenly believing that Oz has betrayed them for personal gain. However, they proceed with the plan. Meanwhile, Glinda casts a spell at the city's outskirts, shrouding the landscape in dense fog. Theodora and Evanora, distracted by the fog, witness an army marching towards the city. Believing it to be an attack, the evil witches send their baboon army to counter the supposed threat. To their surprise, the army turns out to be mechanical scarecrows, cleverly crafted by the locals. Most of the baboons fall into a deep sleep, leaving the city vulnerable. A few vigilant baboons pursue the fleeing residents. In the midst of the chaos, Glinda is suddenly kidnapped by two baboons, dropping her wand in the process. She is transported to the heart of the city, while Evanora searches for the wand, hindered by China Girl. Theodora and Evanora confront Glinda, chaining her to two posts in the city center. As the people of Emerald City watch in terror, Evanora and Theodora torture Glinda with green lightning and crimson fire. Above them, Oz's balloon appears. Evanora points at the balloon, accusing Oz of greed and betrayal. She hurls fire, causing the balloon to explode and scatter the riches in a plume of black smoke. Devastated by Oz's apparent demise, Glinda prepares to die. Suddenly, a resounding voice echoes throughout the city, and Oz's spectral face materializes amidst the smoke. He explains that his death was necessary for him to become the true Wizard of Oz, now immortal and all-powerful. In reality, Oz, Nuck, Finley, and Master Tinker are hidden in a wagon at the city's center, projecting a moving image onto the thick black smoke, creating a stunning illusion. Unbeknownst to Glinda, China Girl seizes her wand and frees her. Evanora flees to the castle, facing revolt from the populace and a giant floating head in the sky, leaving Theodora to deal with the town alone. Theodora is forced to retreat on her broom, bombarded with fireworks by Oz and the citizens. As she departs, she vows to return and defeat Oz. Inside the castle, Evanora confronts Glinda on her father's throne. She attacks Glinda with green lightning, but Glinda defends herself with her wand. A fierce battle ensues, their attacks colliding and causing both witches to collapse in pain. Evanora attempts a fatal blow but lacks the necessary power. Desperate, Evanora reaches for her necklace, the source of her power, but it lies shattered on the ground beneath Glinda. Evanora transforms into an old hag, her appearance deteriorating rapidly. She lunges at Glinda, but Glinda repels her with her wand, sending her crashing through a palace window. Flying baboons capture Evanora, carrying her away into the darkness. The following morning, the liberated Emerald City rejoices. Glinda enters the royal room, greeted by the smoky visage of Oz hovering above the throne. China Girl and Nuck draw the curtains, allowing the real Oz to emerge as Master Tinker deactivates the illusion device. In gratitude for their exceptional performance, Oz presents each of them with a gift. Master Tinker receives a Swiss Army knife, complete with a fork and spoon. Finley receives his top hat and continues to be Oz's loyal companion. Nuck is offered a novelty mask with a painted smile, while China Girl becomes a part of Oz's newfound family. Finally, Oz takes Glinda behind the curtain and kisses her, sealing their bond. And that's up for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks.